So what they say my warrant for?
So your warrant is for a failure to appear. Dispatch is gonna call in and make sure it's still valid.
Failure to appear where? I didn't have no court dates.
It's for DUI out of Pickens County.
Out of Pickens County?
32. Could you go and confirm that warrant?
The only DUI, I had a suspicion of a DUI a long time ago, and it was dismissed, so I don't know what they can be talking about.
You believed that the drama surrounding the Harris family was finally coming to an end. Rethink your thoughts. Because whatever tranquility, Tiny and T, I may have been just destroyed, much like the mixtape from last week. Following the revelation that King Harris was allegedly involved in a violent jail episode that almost ended more quickly than a reality star's apology tour. The internet is going crazy. And now, he's getting better. Humbled, bruised, and apparently ... transformed. T.I. The man who has made a living by being unconcerned is out here being emotional in the meantime. Tears, prayers, and mysterious posts that have followers whispering, "This ain't no PR stunt," are what I'm talking about. The Kardashians appear to be quiet librarians in light of this scandal. Betrayal, peril, redemption, and perhaps the beginning of King Harris. Villain redemption arc are all present. So, fasten your seatbelts because what transpired within those prison walls rocked not just Atlanta, but the whole celebrity world. You'll understand why T.I. is reconsidering everything regarding fatherhood, celebrity, and the alleged street life that his kid attempted to claim by the end of this story. Let's explore the mayhem. The child who sought to demonstrate his realness ultimately had to learn the notion of real the hard way. It didn't care who his father was, how many hits T.I. had, or how many Instagram followers were hankering after rumors when that jail door slammed. Suddenly, the world that King had glorified via his songs lives. And viral outbursts was no longer so humorous. There is no celebrity treatment inside. No manager to fix it exists. Only reality, noise, and barriers. And in the midst of all that turmoil, King changed. But outdoors, it was being devoured by the internet like a special edition scandal dish. Twitter, or X, as Elon is referring to it this week, was ablaze. Memes are appearing more quickly than I could remove a post. King Harris declared his desire to live on the streets. "Young blood, welcome," the street said. "I'm going to turn this into a motivational podcast episode." Another person said, "Brutal, barbaric, and completely viral, the blogs. Meantime, we're putting in extra effort." According to one gossip website, they got exclusive inside info from a trusted source, that is, a person's cousin, friend, sibling, or someone who previously maintained the county jail's air conditioning. However, that was irrelevant. King Harris hospitalized after jail fight, T.I. devastated, was one of their headlines. And you know what? Every word was taken at face value. The worst part is that some of it wasn't overblown. King did wind up in the hospital. He was reportedly bruised, not severely, but enough to leave a mark. The T.I., the emotional portion of our story really started at that point, because something inside of you explodes when you witness your child in pain, even if they created it themselves. This time, T.I., who is renowned for controlling every word that comes out of his mouth, was unable to conceal it. He was spotted pacing outside a building with his jaw clenched and sunglasses on. TMZ took pictures. The caption, "Rapper seems emotional as T.I. awaits update on son King's conditions, sentimental." Please, the man appeared to have aged 5 years in a single day. Rapper T.I. was no longer this person. This was the father who forewarned his son countless times. T.I., seeing the prophecy come to pass before his very eyes, and somewhere beneath the bluster, there was remorse, since T.I. had established his reputation on street wisdom. Let's face it, he had shared tales of the hardship, the bustle, and the grind. His own son had now gone after that image, mistaking performance for intent. Did I teach him this? Was the silent query that was reverberating in his head. In the meantime, King's name became digital currency back in the real world, or as real as social media can be. As if it were a soap opera audition, TikTokers were acting out the purported fight scene, breaking down King Harris jail incident with receipts. Videos were uploaded by YouTubers. One even featured a presentation of arbitrary stock, photographs from jails, and dramatic music. Traditional, everyone desired a share in the mayhem, and King was by himself, sitting in a little cell, coping with repercussions that no meme could reverse. While the rest of the internet laughed. He's silent now. According to a close friend of his who is one of those anonymous insiders that always surface amid controversies. Not the same. He seems to be experiencing the world for the first time. That quiet? It stated more than any tirade on Instagram could. Meanwhile, Tiny was said to be upset. The Harris clan's typically calm matriarch was phoning every attorney, acquaintance, and friend. She is a mother running on adrenaline and fear. According to one insider, who could blame her, really? Because when you take away the followers, the homes, and the celebrity, all that's left is a parent who is afraid for their child. However, the general public is indifferent to subtleties. They are interested in spectacle. The internet went crazy as rumors began to circulate that King would be detained for a longer period of time for instigating conflict. Overnight, everyone became a legal analyst. QC, when you play thug, that's what happens. He will soon discover the true repercussions. He should have been whooped years ago by T.I. Comment sections have become miniature courts, and the same query kept coming up in each thread. Where is T.I. now? He was attempting to mend what fame couldn't, which is where any true father would be. But this time, there was no need to tug threads to correct it. It required being present. According to a blog post from a family member, Tip realized this was the wake-up call. He had no desire to save him. He desired for him to comprehend. That weighs a lot. Additionally, T.I.'s subsequent remark, "Sometimes love looks like letting them face what they created," made it clear that he wasn't just speaking to the general public. Naturally, people clapped back. Others remarked, "That's cold." Others supported it by saying, "He's teaching a lesson," the human truth. However, lies beneath every headline. The most difficult lesson a parent can ever learn is to watch their child collapse. King's devoted Gen Z followers, who believe that every rapper's child is a prophet, began spreading conspiracy theories during this time. According to one, jealous inmates put it up. The guards looked the other way. According to another, it was all a staged PR stunt to build King's street cred before his next single drops. According to one especially crazy thread. Yes, since a hospital wristband is the epitome of career boost, nevertheless, it was purchased. Because in the age of social media, performance and reality are almost identical. The unexpected surprise, though, is that King didn't come out boasting. He didn't share gaudy recovery selfies or mysterious bars. Rather, he became silent, eerily silent. And for the first time in his life, his loudest statement was silence. I discovered a spark of humility, then that silence that he hadn't seen in years. It wasn't in front of cameras when the father and son eventually got back together. Neither a reality show nor a podcast featured it. It was private. There was no publicist, no entourage, and no Harris family PR spin. It was just the two of them, according to witnesses, because there are always witnesses. T.I. gave him a hug and only muttered, "You're still my son." No ego, no lectures, and no "I told you so." Simply human nature. And truthfully, no diss track could ever fully capture the impact of that moment. Don't get it wrong, though. The world isn't over yet, because just as many began to express sympathy, others began to delve further. The digital investigators went full CSI with screenshots, old tweets, and previous interviews. They combined images of King in rehabilitation with videos of him boasting that he did not need anyone's help. The internet never forgets. The captions said for themselves, "Oh no." However, in the midst of the ridicule and memes, people began to soften. Because even those who were critical could see that this was transformation rather than karma. instead of being a joke. King's story served as a warning. Consider this. How many times have we witnessed famous children falter under duress? Some spiral, some vanish, and some recover. King found himself at that juncture. What about this incident? The distinction between spoiled rich kid and guy who's seen too much to go back is made at that same moment. He was now coming to the realization that being famous does not make one invincible. It simply increases the cost of your ERRORST. I was also aware of it. He allegedly said to friends behind closed doors. I've been in those same shoes. I was fortunate enough to leave, for once. The father and son shared more than just a name. They were both scarred, emotionally and physically. In the meantime, the tone of the blog started to change. Posts like sending love to King Harris and his family began to appear on pages that had previously made fun of them. Though subtle, it was apparent. The trolls themselves took a vacation. The story was evolving. King Harris gets beat up in jail was no longer the headline. King Harris survives and learns the hard way was the title. Furthermore, if you are familiar with the internet, you would know that such rebranding is not a coincidence. It occurs because suffering turns into power when it is made public. Every influencer, rapper, and industry insider began to voice their opinions. From Charleston White to Boosie, everyone had something interesting to say. Everyone had something interesting to say. According to some, the king at last gained respect. Others claimed that T.I. ought to have treated him worse, regardless of their stance. However, everyone concurred that this story was unique. It wasn't just another viral hoax or a phony feud. It was authentic, and that's precisely why the internet went down. Because beneath the pandemonium, the clickbait headlines and the memes, here was the tale of a young guy who believed he was impervious to criticism until the world proved him wrong. And that insight, everything altered as a result. King was not the same person who had entered the room talking tough by the time he left. Battered, silent, and humbled. He had stopped shouting about being real. It's in the most agonizing way imaginable. He was now real, and that was respected by everyone, whether they liked him or not.